Inkosi sigileni Afrika, malupakani sopanulayo, Israel mitanda soyetu, kosi sigilela atina, luswapulayo. Morena baluka si chabasa Yesu, ofendize tintwale matre, yo si buluke si chabasa Yesu, si chabasa South Africa, South Africa. Ay diplofan non seyem, ay dictafan non siem, ons jevachacha braves, valikranse sounds the call to come together, and united we shall stand. Let us live and strive for freedom in South Africa, our land.
Good afternoon, goeiemiddag, molweni, assalamu alaikum, shalom, namaste. I'm greeting all of you this afternoon, all South Africans, and I want to take this opportunity to speak directly to all South Africans. I also want to remind all South Africans that our democracy is grounded in a constitution for good, and that it requires all of us to build a country that confronts and heals the past and moves peacefully into the future. I remain guided by this beautiful preamble in our constitution that says, "We, the people of South Africa, recognizing the injustices of our past, honor those who have suffered for justice and freedom in our land, respect those who have worked to build and develop our country, and believe that South Africa belongs to all of it, to all who live in it, united in our diversity." We therefore, through our freely elected representatives, adopt this constitution as the supreme law of the Republic of South Africa, so as to heal the divisions of the past and establish a society based on democratic values, social justice, and fundamental human rights. Lay the foundations for a democratic and open society in which government is based on the will of the people, and every citizen is equally protected by the law. Improve the quality of life of all citizens and free the potential of each person, and build a united and democratic South Africa able to take its rightful place as a sovereign state in the family of nations. May God protect our people. Inkosi sikelele Africa. Morena Baluka Sichaba Sa Jesu. God seën Afrika. God bless Africa. I will now turn to, and there are reasons why I have selected this reminder to all South Africans about our history and where we come from. Now, over the past few weeks, I had the pleasure of spending some more time, some more time with my family and my dogs, and did little things at home that I never had time to do. The past 2 years have been very tough for me personally, but I have taken a lot of comfort from thousands of South Africans who have sent me messages of support and encouragement. And I sincerely want to thank every single one of them. I've also had the benefit of time to reflect on the events of the past 2 years. As you all know, on the 31st of October, I resigned as member of the Democratic Alliance and as executive mayor of this great city, Cape Town. By that time, I was the longest serving executive mayor in the city and the only mayor post-apartheid to complete a term of office and to get re-elected. I'm extremely proud of the work that we have achieved and what we have done in the past 7 years at the helm of the city, and it was really a great honor to serve the people of the city of Cape Town. So, in 2016, you will all know I was the face of the DA's campaign to be re-elected to govern the city, and also on the DA's campaign across the country on the back of the achievements that we have achieved in the city of Cape Town. So in 2016, we were rewarded for our record of delivery between 2011 and 2016 with a resounding 2/3 majority in Cape Town. And even though we have achieved a lot, I will be the first one to admit there are still a lot more to be done in our city and in our country. We have to redress the imbalances of the past caused by oppression, exclusion, and colonialism. I vow to focus on addressing the apartheid spatial planning in our city, which persists and relegates poor and mostly black and colored people to the continued outskirts of our city and to continue to be excluded. And it was at that time that a cabal in the DA turned on me. So over the past 18 months, I have endured the most vile and relentless dirty tricks campaign to get rid of me as the mayor of the city of Cape Town and to also damage my reputation. Now, I have spent my entire life fighting for a society that is just, fair and caring, and I will not rest until we achieve that in our country. I fought against the might of the apartheid regime. I fought against the powerful ANC when I exposed the arms deal. Now, the attack on my character and reputation and values by the DA cabal is nothing. I've never ever experienced something like this in my life. The DA borrowed deeply from the apartheid tactics, sham investigations with the predetermined outcomes, false criminal charges, forged documents, and their conduct really shocked me. It was absolutely motivated by malice and hate. I had to ask myself, what have I done? What have I done to earn such a level of hatred? It was hatred so deep and irrational that it was dehuman. It became clear to me that the project that I started with Helen Zille and that we agreed on in 2010 to create a viable alternative to the ANC was no longer underpinned by the values I believe in and on which the DA campaigned. Now, the DA has used me and they've abused me, and I was in a very abusive relationship, and the abuser cannot be rehabilitated. I've came to that conclusion. So, I was also there when we wrote our final constitution and we negotiated the peaceful settlement in our country today. So I know my rights because I fought for those rights. And I turned to the judiciary to enforce and protect my rights against the DA that was hell-bent on removing me as mayor, flouting natural justice rules, flouting their own constitution, flouting the constitution of our country. So my faith in our courts was never displaced because I've always put my faith in the hands of the judiciary, because the High Court in the Western Cape ruled in my favor 3 out of 3 times. Now, through its conduct, the DA exposed to me that they are not a party that truly believe in constitutionalism, that truly believes in the rule of law. And they do not believe in the truth either. They do not believe in a redress. And they do not believe in their own 4 core values, that is freedom, fairness, and opportunity, and diversity. Now, this said, one of the lessons that Tata Madiba taught me, and of course all of us, after his 27 years in jail, in incarceration, he came out and he could forgive his oppressors. And learn from that, I can also forgive my oppressors. And I say, God, forgive the fools because they don't know what they are doing. And that's why I feel free, I can move on. And so, over the past 2 weeks, I've done what I said I was going to do. And I've taken time to consult with my family, with my friends, with my mentors, and many people across the country. I've listened to thousands and thousands of people that have reached out to me. And I have already last month started to do a survey by Ipsos Marketing to determine that should I decide to go on my own, whether in fact I have support nationally. So the survey has also been concluded, and I've also received a signal from Mama. So now I am ready to continue to serve my country under a new political movement. And I've made the decision based on information and evidence so that I can move on. Because the things I believe in, and I have fought for my entire life, remain my guide even today. My values remain steadfast, it remains the same. Now, politics as usual has really failed South Africa. And many of our South African people have lost faith in politics, and they've also lost faith in politicians. Now for me, God forbid, should they lose faith in our democracy. Because the people that are in politics have not lived up to the privilege to serve the people of this country. It is a privilege to serve South Africans. So, colleagues, South Africans, I really have got enough energy left. It's time for a new political order in our country. Duty and service runs through my blood every day. I'm here to announce that I will continue to avail myself to serve my country, the country that I love. I'm also motivated by the same level of outrage that our country as I was 50 years ago, when I was outraged by the cruelty of apartheid. And I'm now responding to that call to act. I will be launching a new political party that will contest the 2019 elections in all 9 provinces. And our party will put people before politics. We will be on the ground, not just sitting in Parliament and in our offices. Our party will build a better country for the next generations. We also will look after families and educate our children so they can liberate themselves. We will be a party of action and less talk. We will certainly walk the talk. We will clean up our country of corruption and we'll clean up our politics. We will make change happen for the greater good. My exposure to and my being the target of pure hatred tested my beliefs to the end. I'm happy to say that I still believe in the good in our country. I still believe in the good in South Africa and in our people. Where every child will be born in a good hospital, where good doctors provide good health care, their home will be a good house and a good community, where there's a good school, they'll get good education, a good foundation, with good values to live and learn and play and grow and know what it means to be good. In a good South Africa, there will be good opportunities to get a good job that offers good rewards for good work. To live a good life and share, live and care and know what it means to be good. In a good South Africa, we will fight corruption and we will stand up against racism by doing what is good because we want South Africa to be good. Racial division, prejudice, and inequality continues to exist in our society. And my great fear is that our next generation of young South Africans will carry forward with them the tensions that exist in South Africa today, the tensions between many races in our country. And therefore we will be saying to the racists, we will not allow racists to speak for us. Because good people are not racist. And today, I'm inviting all South Africans who are to speak for us, who are in search. I'm inviting all South Africans who are in search of something new that will disrupt the current political situation, that will change the template of politics in our country, to join me. I'm making a call for you to do something good and to join me in doing something good for our country. They say, when good people do nothing, evil prospers. And that is where we are departing from, is to find those good South Africans, to do good things for our country, and to speak up so that the evil that has taken hold of our country does not prosper. Now, I also anticipate that my announcement today will unleash a new level of dirty tricks and a fierce campaign to discredit me and all of those South Africans that will be joining me standing up for the good. Now, in my 24 years service in elected office, I've witnessed the goodness of all South Africans. Politicians and politics so often suffocates that inherent goodness in our country. And I want to end with a new style of politics where the youth and experienced men and women are united at the forefront of making change happen for the good in our country. Now, it was Tata Madiba that said, no one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin or his ground or on his background or his religion. And if people can learn to hate, they can also learn to love. For love comes more naturally to the human heart than the opposite. And in my reflection, we can also notice in our country that no single leader has shown any real leadership and embarked on any meaningful reforms to bring about reconciliation and unity in our country. And today is an invitation for South Africans who believe in the good to join me. My plan is to continue to engage with South Africans over the coming weeks. Later this year, I will unveil, and 2 weeks from now, I will unveil the name and the brand along with a suite of more detailed policy solutions. And in January 2019, we will launch the party officially for all South Africans, for all good South Africans. And cities and towns are at the heart of our nation. Our country will progress when our cities work and our towns work. And I intend to use my experience of the past 7 years, leading one of the greatest cities in the world, for the good of first spreading the good governance of the city of Cape Town to the rest of the Western Cape and then to the rest of our country. Ladies and gentlemen, for now, this is what I have to announce, and I want to thank all of the people that have helped me to put all of this together. I know it's going to be a long and difficult road, but I think we all need to adopt the attitude. All good people in our country, we must make a decision that we want to see our country safe. We must save our country. So I'm calling on all good South Africans to join me for a good cause so that we build our country. Thank you so much, and thank you for your time. I will now take some questions.
So it's fine, I think, Pat, we'll take 3 questions at a time. So I'll just indicate the number, if you can just give your name and which media house you're from. 1, 2, 3.
Mr. Kumakora from Daily Sun. Have you got the name yet for the department?
Yes, we are doing some research to test the collateral of the name, and that is why I'm not in a position to announce the name today, and we'll do so in 2 weeks' time.
Also, Mr. Noel, you're a political veteran. Obviously, you won't start something if you haven't considered all your options. Should your party not receive an outright majority, which is a possibility, will you go into a coalition with the DA again? Should you win in the Western Cape, or will you go into a coalition with the ANC?
Well, first of all, we are going all out to win. As you can see, coalition politics has become the norm in our country. But for now, we're in it to win, and we will put all our effort, and we will talk about that after the elections.
Mrs. Marvin from the Cape August, I want to find out, can you confirm whether you will be reviving the ID? And also you said that you can expect a whole new can of worms from the DA. Are you prepared for that? And if so, what are you going to do next?
Well, as I just mentioned to you now, that we are still looking at the name. And the research that we are currently busy with is to look at the collateral of the Independent Democrats and the collateral of the new name, and we will then make a decision. I am prepared for the DA. They can come. I've given them a blood nose every single time, but it seems that they don't learn. I am ready, but I must also warn them. There is no place in our new democracy that all we fought so hard for people to play dirty politics. Go out to the voters and tell the voters what you stand for, instead of just looking at other parties. And I am ready for any further fight. As you know, I have taken the Bowman's report on review. I'm still waiting on a court date, so the fight is not over yet.
Thanks. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you, Lester from NSA. Mr. Lille, 3 questions. First would be, during this tumult between yourself and the Democratic Alliance, were you at all courted by either the ANC or the EFF during this? Did you have talks with the ANC particularly? Was the ID ever deregistered as a party? And if not, who paid for those registration fees every year? And now that you are, one would suppose, the leader of a new political party, I'd like your opinion on certain policy issues, like for particularly land expropriation without compensation. What is your particular thoughts on that issue?
Well, first of all, yes, I've been approached by the ANC, the EFF, all of them. Many political parties approach me, but as I'm standing here today, I believe that that old template and style of politics need to be changed. And that is what I'm prepared to lead, and to bring in the younger generation, to groom them, and not just recycle the same old politicians over and over. Because politicians now stay in politics for 15 years to build up their pension. So there are a lot of deadwood sitting in Parliament. I would like to see the younger generation coming through, working with experienced politicians, so that they can speak truth to power in the corridors of power. The Independent Democrats, yes, has not been deregistered. As you will recall, that the Independent Democrats and the DA, we held dual membership. And also that you cannot merge in terms of the new legislation. We only merged with the DA in 2014, and we certainly kept the ID there as a registered party. And there's no fees to be paid for a registered party. It's just registered, it's there.
Just the last question on your thoughts on a very tumultuous issue like land expropriation.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we are developing all of those positions. We've already drawn all the public participation hearings. We have set up a group of young people to assist us with distilling our policies. So in 2 weeks, when I make the announcement on the name, we will be unpacking certain policy positions, and at that time we will be ready to do so.
Sure.
Ma'am, Kevin from Eyewitness News, does it mean that you will contest the Western Cape Premiership next year?
I will certainly consider that. to contest the Western Cape for the premier position. And I will make that announcement when we launch the party in January. We still have got a lot of work to do before we get to the actual positions, but I will certainly consider that.
Mr. I just want to find out, my name is Ak from Hardfam. Are you willing to disclose the name of your funders who are going to be part with you in this political move?
Arthur, as you know, I don't know what is the delay with the signing of the bill. There's legislation before Parliament now. The moment the President signed that legislation, it will be compulsory for all political parties to do so. And if the President signed that bill, then we will have no option but to declare. We will abide by the law.
So far, do you plan to have maybe funders who approached you when you took a decision to launch this new party?
Well, first of all, you know what? I say what I'm doing, my brother, I'm not doing for money. I'm certainly not doing it so that I can get a position. My struggle is never about personal gain. I've been offered a position as a member of Parliament. I've been offered a position as a member of the legislature. And I could sit comfortably at home today and go on pension. So like I've done when I invested to clear my name and I fought to clear my name to the courts, I paid myself. I invested my own money. And similarly now, to do the work that we are doing up till now, I've invested my own money. Because I'm investing into our country. I'm investing for the good of the people of this country. And that is my contribution. That is my legacy that I want to leave behind. That I was able to bring in young people, experienced people together. Once we have got the name, then of course I will go out and look for donations. But for now, the work that we've put in comes from myself. And I must also say I've been assisted by 5 of the councillors that have resigned, that are also unemployed today. It just shows you that to what extent people will go, that you still find politicians like that today who are prepared to make the sacrifice to serve their country.
Thanks. For the next round, quickly. 1, 2, 3.
Mr. It's actually a follow-up on what you just said. You spoke about the 5 councillors who resigned.
Yeah.
We also know Mr. Brett Herring resigned. Will he be participating in this movement? And are there any people currently within other political parties that are talking to you about joining you possibly?
Well, Marissa, let me put it this way. I certainly am not creating a new vehicle for people to come in just to get positions. It will not just be about positions. People have to believe in the values that this new movement stands for and not come in for positions. Fortunately, I've got the experience when I started the Independent Democrats in 2003 that you have to screen people to make sure that they are sincere. And so I leave it now to the 7 councillors that have resigned in support of me. I leave it to them now to make that decision if they want to come and join me.
Sure.
With only 6 months to go to the national election, where do you base this hope of contesting in the whole country, in 9 provinces?
Well, first of all, we'll find the people, and we do have some people already in each of the 9 provinces. And it's going to mean hard work. It's going to mean working almost 24 hours a day, getting out there and convincing people to join a party that stands for what is good in our country. I was saying to my family was saying to me, why are you doing this to yourself? You know, you can certainly sit at home and retire in your comfort. Why are you doing it to yourself? I said, because on reflection and looking what is going on around me, I can't sit still. I've been fighting all my life for a good cause. I can't sit still and see not speak out and mobilize against all of the wrong things in our country. So it's going to be tough, but let me tell you, I am fit. I'm not on any chronic medication at my age. I eat healthy, I live healthy, and with the support of good South Africans, we will be able to fight a good cause.
Sure, we're going to have 2 more rounds. 1, 2, 3.
Mama Pet, I just want to check. And the colors that you're dreaming about, that you're going to brand your party, certainly blue is not in there.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Mama Pet, the 2 weeks is such a short period of time to come up with a very comprehensive policy. Have you been thinking about these parties ever since? How long have you started planning?
No, I'm a seasoned politician. I've been in politics for more than 50 years. But I also know what it is that is needed to be done in our country right now. And you know what? A lot of volunteers are coming forward, have come forward already, and have started working on these things already. We were all waiting for making the announcement today so that we sort of we were underground, we can now come above board.
I just want to be convinced as a South African mayor, is this not one, I mean, we've seen a lot of people when they're disgruntled in their political parties, they go and form splinter parties. Some of them have split again. Is this not any, we don't have that kind of emotion perhaps behind this vehicle?
No. I mean, I had to move out of the party that hated me. I had to move out of an abusive relationship. I'm not disillusioned. You can't work with people that are abusing you every day, that's trying to taint your name. And that is for the record. If they don't change their way in treating women and treating people of color, they are going to see South Africans will punish them at the polls. So I'm not disgruntled. I walked away from a hatred relationship. It was actually dehuman. You know, when I now sit at home and I'm busy writing my book, and we're on the chapters now of what happened from beginning of January 2018, it's unbelievable to what extent the Democratic Alliance went every single month. Motion of no confidence after motions of no confidence. So no, I'm not disgruntled. I'm leaving behind a party that you can't rehabilitate them anymore. There's no hope.
Thanks.
Mevrou de Lille, ek is die beentroon van EMS.
Ja.
Ek hoor, u praat altyd van hierdie abusive verhouding wat die was in die en al vroueregtes. Ek wil weet, sê u, impliseer nie dat die DA baie patriargale styl iets van dinge doen? Dis my eerste vraag. Die tweede vraag is, as die partij nou, die nuwe partij nou baie steun in die Weskaap kry, wat is die eerste probleme wat u sal takel, nou dat u nou nie so te sê DA om jy het, om jy of terugtuig, dat u volle vryheid gaan hê met die eie partij? Dis die twee vraag.
Wel, eerst, ek het die ervaring van 7 jaar in die stad Kaapstad, van hoe om te regeer en hoe om seker te maak dat die begroting van enige regering oorweldiging gespandeer word vir die arme mense. En dit is daardie ondervinding wat ek het van 7 jaar, wat ek graag wil bring na die res van die Weskaap toe, en na die res van Suid-Afrika, want ons gaan op nasionale vlak vir teenwoordig is. Patriargie is 'n probleem in alle partye en in die hele land. Maar jy weet, ek het ook al baie jare ondervinding dat al die slegte dinge wat met ons gebeur as vrouens, is wat ons toelaat om te gebeur. En ek het al jarenlang besluit, ek gaan nie toelaat dat enige een op my kop sit nie. Ek sê gewoonlik, ek het 'n baie klein kop, so ek gaan nie toelaat dat iemand op my kop sit nie. En daarom wil ek ook vrouens in die algemeen in Suid-Afrika uitnooi, dat ons moet opstaan teenoor hierdie patriargie en nie toelaat dat al hierdie dinge met ons gebeur nie. Okay.
politics as the worst villain in politics. I mean, you went Parliament years ago, and it was the ANC, no question. Today, looking back, who would you say is the biggest villain, or people should be careful of when they do make their crosses? Secondly, do you think now, thinking back and joining the DA at the time, that jy sou miskien beter af gewees het in die ID dan die DA?
I've got no regrets of working together with Helen Zille to start a project, a big project, to build an alternative to the ruling party. That project has now been killed off by what has happened a few weeks ago. So I've got no regret about that. I still think today that there's a need in our country to save our country, to build that alternative. And starting now, I'm on the way of saying to people, we need to build that alternative. Now, you know what? I don't want to go to the level of, you know, naming people and saying this one is a villain or this one is this and that. But if they start with me, then I will call them. They start with me first, then I will call them for what they are.
But you're abused already. I think now you can speak up.
No, you know, all of you know the cabal. You know, I've always said that I wanted to be held accountable. That I'm prepared to subject myself to an open disciplinary hearing with the media and the public present. I want to be held accountable. The question needs to be asked is who? I've not seen a single person in the DA leadership, especially James Self, Musi Mamani, that none of them were held accountable for this mess around my name. None of them are being held accountable that the party had to spend 2.6 million rand on legal fees because the party didn't follow its own constitution and the constitution of the country. Those are the questions that need to be asked. Because, you know, the accountability was just meant for me. Musi Mamani must be held accountable for the mess because he failed to protect my rights in terms of the DA constitution.
Thanks so much. We have another round. One.
No, but watching.
Last round. Let's be good. We'll be good today. Just the last round, 1, 2, and that will be the final one. Thanks.
Sorry, my apologies.
That's
Can
good.
we also just do a short Afrikaans interview afterwards?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
From what you said today, currently you're going to run a positive campaign,
Yeah.
and that you're going to have a progressive party. At the moment, we see a lot of progressiveness in our politics, and the issue is still over to the election campaign next year. Also, almost all the major parties have, like, in their campaigning so far, they're going after the base issue, like this is the immigration, etc. So, how are you going to cut through that noise and remain positive and also get progressive message out while it seems that the other parties seem to be going the other way?
Yeah. Well, I can agree with your analysis. Certainly, the two most divisive parties in our country is the ANC and the DA. I believe that the majority of whites, coloreds, Indians, and blacks want to see and build a good country and are not racist. I also believe that racism must be confronted head on. We tend to put racism under the carpet. When I was the mayor of the city of Cape Town, I was the only mayor ever in this country that ran a campaign against racism. They had a desk in my office where people could report racist incidents. And we need to appeal to our political leaders to lead by example and stop, you know, creating even more divisions in our society. And that's why I want to build a South Africa for all South Africans, where all South Africans can feel at home, because the majority of South Africans are not racist. You've got a small minority that's pushing this trajectory of racism, and that's why we are saying that we will not allow racists to speak for us.
Mr. Lil, what you see with many new parties. I take for example the example of Cope and Akang. Shortly after they started, they were dogged by leadership battles and almost stalwart. I take it that you are the presumptive leader of this new political movement. Will there be an elective conference, and do you expect anyone to contest leadership against you?
What we're going to announce in 2 weeks' time when we announce the name, and when I make a reference to changing the template of how politics is exercised in South Africa, we will deal with that. All political parties have members and then they have supporters. And normally the supporters are more than members. And the members are really determining, and there's always this fight, and there's branches, there's regions and all of that. We tend to break that template of normal membership and branches and regions and province and that. And we're going to overlay our complete campaign with digital technology, where we are going to open up for supporters of this party through our website, through other technological means, to have input into where we are taking the party to. And so also when we launch in January next year, that is where we will then illustrate to South Africa, or show South Africa who are the leadership that's going to take this party forward. But no Congress for now. We have to hit the ground running. We need to get to work hard to build this good South Africa.
Thanks so much. Oh, final question, and then that's a wrap. And then
just 2 questions, Mr. Lowell. The first question is, are you aware of a DA mayor who also is considering resigning? Have you had discussions with that mayor in the past week? And then my second question, people will label you as a political prostitute. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I'm certainly not aware about the DA mayor that's going to resign. Maybe you know more than what I do. You know what? I really don't care what people are saying. I really, honestly, I don't care. What I do care for is my country. And if people want to call me all kinds of names, they're entitled to their opinions and to what they want to call me. I don't care. I care about my country and the love for this country. What I'm doing is not for myself. It's never been for myself. It's never been for personal gain. It's always been for a cause, and for a good cause, and for our country.
thank you so much, good people. Thanks. Yeah. Okay.
You're going to release the speech now, eh?
Ja, dit wil ik ook spreken. Afrikaans.